Welcome to the Love, Sex and Freedom podcast. This is where you're going to discover how to bring awakening into the body and into everyday life through powerful tantric teachings. Get ready to release, open and step into your true power. This concept of finding safety in the body is really what brought me into a whole new perspective and felt sense of life. So you'll hear me during the week using personal stories because I feel like personal stories are an excellent way to enrich your understanding. And yeah, I started touching on yesterday that my background pre-Tantra was mysticism and personal development and EFT, and a lot of what this was centered around was having the right mindset. And what has completely changed my life is understanding the difference in impact between mindset work and embodiment work. And no matter how much mindset work I did, I never felt safe in my body. So no matter how many books I read about redirecting my focus, no matter how many affirmations I did, mantras, transcendent practices, workshops, trauma therapy, all of this stuff that was really allowing the story to come out, rewiring stories. I'm like, why the fuck am I still anxious? Who has noticed in their life that no matter how much mindset work they're doing, there's not really a shift in the body? Fantastic. And so something that has always been very natural to me and has made me a very highly functional being is that I've been able to notice a thought that doesn't serve me. So, I can't do this. I'm like, yes, I can. And of course, that is very helpful, right? I'm not saying mindset work's not helpful. And you say something enough times to yourself and your body can start to believe it, right? However, this body is basically the portal into our unconscious. And our conscious mind and what we're aware of is like the waves on the surface of the ocean, right? It's not the depths of the void that are underneath the waves that are actually, there's all this life underneath that we can't see. And there's this silence in the void, in the mystery that is deeper than the waves, which takes us into new spaces of knowing ourselves and dropping into a void space that allows a different level of aliveness. And as I'm talking through the week, you may not understand everything I'm saying as I'm saying it, but bear with me and it will unravel. So if you can imagine that what you're thinking about that's negative is actually coming from your experiences. It's coming from your conditioning, it's coming from your trauma, it's coming from your celebrations, it's coming from your successes, it's coming from what you've been praised for, it's coming from whatever religion you grew up with, if you grew up from a religion, it's coming from societal conditioning. And so rather than just changing thoughts and going, that's a negative thought that doesn't serve me, I'm going to shift it into another, what if we actually practice some meditative reflection on what we're thinking and inquired into that deeper? And there's a few people here who are doing my practitioner training, and a core part of the session structure is to, yes, listen to what the client's mind has to say and the beliefs that they're running that don't serve them, but then to take those beliefs into the body and check it out. So if you have a belief, for instance, you're in a relationship and you have a belief, I'm not good enough, you could then just bypass the body and go, yes, I'm good enough, right? And that's going to help you to an extent, surface level. But there's going to be a buzzing, right? Because the beliefs that aren't serving you, that come from your upbringing, your personal and collective conditioning, the source of those beliefs, the feelings that go with those beliefs, live within the cellular memory and structure of your being. So if I have the belief I'm not worthy of receiving love, I can just bypass that and go, I am worthy of love, and that's what I used to do. But could I ever actually receive my first husband's love when I was in the mindset personal development? Well, no. Because there was some part of me that wasn't actually open to receiving love. Why was that? What did I discover once I started doing embodiment work and going, okay, I'm not worthy of love? Where is that in my body? And then memories start coming up of maybe my mum name calling me, maybe some feelings that I didn't understand that later unraveled to be abuse that I'd repressed until my early 30s, sexual abuse. And there was all of this stuff inside of me that was stuck. And then when I started to actually feel that, express that, experience that, all those frozen parts of me started to become more free. And then I could be authentically me. So basically what we do is, when we have an experience that doesn't feel comfortable, that doesn't feel good, because we're never taught how to be with that, because all of our training in the education system and from our primary role models of imitation, usually, unless you've had very embodied parents and people around you, all of that training is mental, and no one actually teaches us how to be with that discomfort. So guess what we're all doing? As soon as we feel uncomfortable, we're distancing ourselves from our body. And how do we distance ourselves from our body? We turn someone into an enemy and go after them. That's called the fight response. It's a stress response. Or we run away from the situation, which is our flight response. Or we just escalate into freeze. Everyone take a deep breath. So what I'd like you to understand is that there's these two levels of the body, right? Which I'm going to use the metaphor of the ocean. There's the waves that are on the surface, which is when something happens and we have a nervous system response that hits. It's like, okay, if the winds are really strong, then the waves are like, right? If everything is really still, the waves are still. And the weather and what's happening externally to the ocean is impacting the way that the waves move. So that's the first level. And the first level of being in the body is our automatic nervous system reactions and responses, which is where most people live. When they're really uncomfortable, when something hits their body, they don't know how to be with it, so they go into fight, flight, freeze, feign, tend and befriend, all the different stress responses. And we're all like feathers in the wind, just floating along, completely impacted by our external environment. Like the waves of the ocean, right? And that's okay. And we can notice that. We can notice this strong impulse to fight, to turn someone into our enemy, to fight and grasp and try to find a savior, to get the fuck away from whatever's happening to cause us the discomfort, or to leave our bodies. And then we have all of the distancing techniques that work very well, of going into the phone, taking drugs, easing the discomfort. What's the alternative? That rather than just staying at the surface level of nervous system responses and reactions, we breathe into the deeper stillness and void of what is below the waves, into the darkness, into the unconscious. Most of the time when people hear darkness, or when it's spoken about in spiritual circles, it's like, oh, the dark is bad. Oh, there's dark energies. Oh, there's dark this, there's dark that. Close your eyes. Actually notice the darkness when you close your eyes. That's darkness. It's not good or bad. Here it is. It's darkness. What happens when you actually just let yourself see in the dark? I want you all, when you leave here, to be able to see in the dark. So imagine that something's happened, something's hit, impacted you. And the waves of the surface of your experience of being in this body is to run or fight, find a savior, or completely disconnect from the body by freezing, by taking drugs, by going into addictive patterns of work or Netflix or pot or alcohol or all the different things. But instead, you remember this moment, right now, and you hear my voice. And my voice is saying to you, you are safe to breathe deeper. You are more than your nervous system responses. You are more than your nervous system reactions. And there is some greater wisdom here, right now, that is the wisdom of your body, that is the wisdom of your unconscious, that is going to evolve you beyond your conditioning, that is going to free you from the shackles of going through this life on automatic and give you a power that is far greater than the power of reaction. It is the softer power of surrender into what is really here now. And what is this experience reminding me of? And what am I feeling when I breathe deeper into it? When I'm not denying what is here now? So bring your hands to your belly. Breathe into your body. Into what's here now. This stillness from which aliveness springs, this stillness is the portal into the body, into listening. So listen right now. What's the body telling you? What's alive in here? And can you trust the body? Can you trust what's deeper than the surface of the ocean and go into the deep, dark, mysterious void from which life springs, from which there's a whole oceanic, beautiful world of so many surprises? And start to just move the body slightly, whatever's here. And I want you to take a belief that comes up a lot. for you, which doesn't serve you. And it's not about thinking about it, it's about feeling it in the body. Maybe it's I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough or that enough. I've been fucked over in life. Life's not fair. I can't relax, I'm anxious, I have an eating disorder, whatever it is, whatever you've identified with, whatever belief is there that you try desperately to shift and change on the surface level, take it deeper. I can't receive love, I can't feel pleasure in the bedroom, I'm stuck, I'm numb. And now take it even deeper with deeper breathing. Giving that belief, find where that belief lives in the body. Bring your hands there. And actually lean into the tension. Lean into the pain instead of distancing yourself from it. Instead of creating a story around it, trying to find a meaning to it, analysing it. This is because my mum did this, my dad. Who gives a fuck? Not me. I don't give a fuck about your story. Not right now. What I care about is the feeling that is deep within you that you don't give yourself permission to feel. So breathe into it. And give it some sound and movement. Feel your frustration, feel your anger, feel your grief, feel your longing, feel whatever is there. Allow, and when you find yourself going into the mind, come back to the body. If you feel numb, breathe into the numbness, give that sound. Trust your body. Keep your eyes closed, keep seeing in the dark, accessing your unconscious. Thanks for listening to the Love, Sex and Freedom podcast. For more great free resources, in-person and online workshops, and our retreats, find us on Instagram and Facebook at Embodied Awakening Academy or visit embodiedawakeningacademy.com.